Hey guys, we have your market update. We are starting out Q4 here in October, and we've got a few things that I just wanted to bring some actual numbers for you and kind of the differences between Maricopa and then Pinal counties. And so what we are actually looking at, let's start with Maricopa first, is we have about 18,000 active listings today, which is almost 20% higher than we had a year ago. So you can tell like our listing inventory has grown largely because there's not a lot of buyers that were in the market over the last year to eat up that inventory and go into contracts. So, and that's actually been a couple of years. So our pending contracts were up for a hot minute. They're actually down this week. They're only down by about 2.5%. In Maricopa County at 5,323 today, right now when I looked. And just to give a little bit of perspective, 2018 was about our last normal-ish market. We had 7,300 this time of year. And in 2020, right when things started getting crazy, our peak in contracts that we had for the beginning of October was about 10,000, just shy of 10,500 pending contracts. And so with our active listings being up about 18,000, for some reference, in 2023, that was just 10,000. So you can see our inventory has grown and they just the buyer activity has not caught up. So in reference, like take those same numbers, let's go to Pinal County. And Pinal, remember, is gonna be like Casa Grande, Maricopa, Santan Valley, Coolidge, Florence, Apache Junction, Gold Canyon, that type of stuff. So we've got just shy of 3,500 active today, so 3,471. In 2023, for reference, again, we had 2,000 active homes in Pinal County. So that, again, is up 20% year over year. And our pending contracts are a little bit slower in Pinal County. That's even slower than Maricopa as a whole. And that's down 4.3%. So we're at just shy of 1,000, 949 today. And again, for frame of reference, 2018, our last kind of normal-ish market, we had 816. So close, we're doing better, but that also has skyrocketed population-wise, building-wise, all of that stuff. And in 2020, we had 1,667 homes under contract at that same time. So lots of big shifts over the last couple of years with our inventory numbers, which is kind of driving and dictating the deals that you can get, the negotiation factors, and that's why we say a lot of our market is either balanced or buyer's markets, depending on the localized city and price point, things like that. So let's talk rates. I know we had a rate cut from the Fed in September. They actually jumped up. We had talked about, I think, some of that rate cut is already built into the mortgage rates because remember, they don't directly correlate between the Fed and mortgage rates. The mortgage rates follow the bond market, not the Fed. But conventional rates right now are about 6.38 as the national average, and then VA and FHA are down just a touch above 6%. So they're not bad. They did bounce a little bit. Conventional was almost as low as 6.1. And they bounced back up to about 6.3, 6.4. So still way better than the 8 that we saw about a year and a half ago. So a lot of buyers, now that we've kind of stabilized there, should be coming back out of the woodwork for the Q4. We were already seeing a lot more listings starting to hit the market over the last month or 5 weeks or so as those rates have come down. And so that's affecting more of our supply, and the buyers have kind of waited because volatile interest rates, people sit and watch. So as long as that volatility quits, we should see them dive back into the market and start picking up some of that buyer activity. We should see more showings, more contracts, things like that. Now, as we go into Q4, that is always a little bit quieter with the holidays and, family plans and stuff like that going on. But we anticipate this being a little bit stronger of a Q4 than we saw last year. So fingers crossed, we'll keep our eyes open. We'll keep reporting what we're seeing. And of course, as always, if you have any questions on any of the neighborhoods or local cities and want to know what's what in your price point in your area, please reach out. We would love to help, give you that perspective and those facts and all of that. So phone number here is 480-518-9907, and we will talk to you soon.